Mark, first and foremost, quick chat about Tuesday.
Yeah.
Not the best performance you'll make all season, but the way that the team won. How proud were you coming back into the dressing room?
Well, I think, you know, you're lying there about not the best performance. I think if we'd have scored some of the chances we created, then we would say it was a really good performance. So if we're saying that if we only score 2 goals or 1 goal, it doesn't mean it's a good performance, then I don't agree. I thought we played against a team, and if you listen to their manager's comments, they have 0 pressure on them, and they can come and make it really difficult and have a real go, and that's what happens now. So you imagine you have no pressure on you as a player. You come to a stadium, there's 3,500 people here, nice pitch, and you're playing against a team that know they have to win. It makes really difficult evening or afternoon for us. And that's why I keep saying full credit to our players. I thought we played some brilliant football in the first half. We gave a rubbish goal away. And if we take one more of the chances, it becomes a comfortable evening. But we don't. But what really pleases me, we show a real desire and organisation not to allow them to score an equaliser in the last 5 minutes.
One player who has shone in the last few weeks is Sam Pearson. Is it 4 goal involvements since he's come back to the club? How impressed have you been by his run of form?
Yeah, he's a top player, certainly for this level. I thought he was great the other night. His energy is a real big asset for him. His pace, his energy, and his sort of ability in tight areas. And you know, he was a real star performer the other night. Got another goal, and he can be pleased with his performance.
I'm guessing Morgan was very happy to get on the score sheet as well.
He was. But like I say, they're human beings, are allowed to make mistakes. We're playing in the National League South. As long as they're honest mistakes and they're, you know, it's trying to do things for the right way and defending high up the pitch, and he gets done over his shoulder and lets the ball bounce. He knows that. We don't have to ridicule and berate him about that. But he took it upon himself to go and make sure he repaid the boys and got them the winning goal.
Before we move on to Chelmsford, there's a couple of, well, one big story that's just come out in the last hour or so about Torquay going into administration. Does that make you feel at all worried about what football's going through at the moment in terms of the financial backing behind clubs and the financial situation that some clubs, including Yeovil until fairly recently, found themselves in?
Yeah, so really sorry. You know, you feel sorry for the fans, the staff there. Period of uncertainty coming up for them. We were in that position last year. And it's really not nice, and you just hope that somebody comes along. It looks as though the council have not played ball maybe with the stadium, which is why the owners sort of ceased funding. But yeah, you don't want to see, no matter how much of a rival they are, you don't really want to see them in that kind of trouble, because at the end of the day they've all got families to feed, and it's there for the grace of God go I. But I look at the riches of the Premier League and some of the wages that players, managers get paid. There has to be more of an equal split down the leagues for the smaller clubs to get some more money. Surely there's enough money in the game for grassroots, lower leagues to be helped out.
Do you worry that in coming years we will see more stories like Torquay's?
Well, I think you see them every year, but very rare does that club ever, very rare, go out of business. There always seems to be somebody that comes along and wants to buy a football club, and you hope for Torquay's sake that happens to them.
Chelmsford this weekend,
yeah,
long trip away, and a very difficult one in terms of a side that are trying to push high and get on the playoffs.
Yeah, another one where they're up and around it in a good run of form. I think they've won the last 3 or 4. They've got the best away record, not been as good at home. They played really well here, drew, I think. So we know they're a really good football team, and we know it's going to be a really tough afternoon. But we've put ourselves in a position where I think they have to have a real go at us. I think the pressure's more on them than us, because they know that they've got to take some points off us to be able to catch us. So maybe the focus starts shifting to the other teams, and there's less pressure on us now because of the position we've put ourselves in, where the other teams have to try and beat us.
Yeah, you have to pull off results against the teams just behind you to open up that gap a bit more, don't you?
Well, if it stays at 13 points, I'll be more than happy. So if the gap stays like that, I'm more than happy. The players, like I say, deserve immense credit for getting where they've got so far.
In terms of the squad and how you're looking for the weekend, obviously we've got a few long-term injuries going on. Anyone else coming back, or a few players still quite a way away from it?
Well, we had 4 subs the other night. Can only use 3. So we never want to crow and moan about injuries. People will say you're not scoring enough goals, but we've had to adapt. We have 3 number 9s, or our goal scorers all injured. Ollie Thomas, Jake Hyde, Reece Murphy. But we've had to adapt and play players that are not number 9s up there. Maybe sometimes a bit more withdrawn. And we've continued to get results. So full credit to them. We have got, hopefully, well, Charlie Cooper's definitely back the weekend, and we think Alex Whittle will be back, which gives us 2 more bodies, but we lose obviously Jordan Young for 2 games.
Well, the suspension kicks in, doesn't it? I forgot about that. He wasn't suspended for
No.
Tuesday night. And in terms of long absentees, Scott Pollock, any more news on what's going to happen with him?
He seems to have picked up, or seems to have gained another symptom or injury now. So obviously he's not really been fit since he's been there, and it's got to start to worry. Maybe can't quite stand up to the rigours of full-time football. We don't know, and it's a frustrating one.
And I asked Sam about this, so I'll ask you as well. Fantasy Premier League, is that something you dip your hand into at all, or not? Do you avoid it?
Yeah. It's hard enough managing at this level, let alone Premier League. I dread to think what it's like.
Any of the guys in the change room you think you could see being a good manager?
Ooh, that's a good question, that. I think there's 1 or 2 in there. Obviously Frank started his coaching. There's a few in the summer going to do their coaching qualifications. They've asked me for a bit of detail. Murph's doing his, he's quite advanced on his. I think there's some budding young coaches come managers there, and they ask me now and again for some bits and pieces. So I'm more than willing to help. But no, it's a really good group, and I'm really enjoying managing them.
You must feel quite proud when some of the boys that you've watched over the last couple of years come to you and say, look, I want to pursue a coaching career and I want to put myself through it.
I'm not sure that's because what I've showed them, but I think we tend to like to recruit players that really think about the game, because what we ask them to do and the way we ask them to play, it's a lot of detail and it takes a lot of work, and I think they enjoy that, and they look at the game a different way, and they've been great.
Good luck for Saturday.
Thank you very much.